All right. Well, welcome, friends, to MLM Monday. My name is Ben Dixon, your host, and I'm absolutely excited to be here with you today. So our topic today, for those of you that are joining in, is do you have a content team? We're speaking to those of you that run your own direct sales, MLM, party plan company, referral marketing, affiliate marketing company in the space. Do you have your own content team? Well, why is that important? Why is it important to have a content team? You see, for many of you, I'm sure you have, if you're in a wellness company, you have a chief science officer in charge of making your products great, or if you're in a services company, you have a chief operations officer making sure your product is great. Maybe you have a chief commissions officer or a financial officer making sure your salespeople are being paid properly. For sure, you have a CEO who's leading with the vision of your company in the marketplace. And you probably have a chief sales officer and chief marketing officer leading the acquisition of salespeople in the field and the proliferation of your mission and your vision and your message. But do you have a content team? See, here on Live, as we're connecting today, I want to talk about the trend that's changed over the last few years. You see, today it's not just enough to have salespeople and to have a great product and to pay commissions on time, but to create real dynamic results in the marketplace, you have to provide content for your members to share. You have to be relevant in the conversation with relevant, recent content. And so what does that look like? The shift we're seeing with our platforms here at NaXum, we're the back of 40 different MLM companies in the space, and we're private labeled, so you probably don't see our name very much, but we are the back office system for a whole bunch of companies in the space. We're part of their back office system, depending on how they've integrated with us in the platform. And what we're seeing more than ever is companies adopting internally a strategy of daily creating content for their members to be sharing. That content can be images, blog posts, videos. It can look raw and authentic. It can look photoshopped and professional. It's across the gamut, and people are measuring the results they're getting with the content through platforms like ours and are absolutely making differences. We're watching people who had plenty of customers who liked their product, or distributors who liked it but just didn't know how to share. And today, because of the done-for-you content systems, more people are sharing and more retail customers are coming into a company than ever. And we're also seeing legislation here in our industry. We're seeing people getting in trouble with the FTC for health claims and income claims and all sorts of claims here in our industry. And so that's where companies are providing compliant content for people to share so that it's making a difference. So if you're watching the live right now, or you're here on replay, right, and you want your company and you're here, go ahead and type in where you're watching from in the comments. Go ahead and say, okay, I'm in from Ohio or Canada or Taiwan, wherever you are. Just put that in the comments and say hello from where you're at. If you're watching right now and your company already has a content team, write in done in the comments. Go ahead and take a moment and say, done, we got it. And then if you don't have a content team yet, say, we're getting there. Go ahead and type in, we're getting there in the comments. So what's key about today, and the lesson we're going to be talking about here in the show, is that when you create content, it does a number of things. We're going to talk about 3 principles here inside of this video today. The first is we're going to talk about the daunting factor of what it takes to share your company. So today, folks are not just on the phone sharing your company, they're in social media. And so you can imagine for them to create their own content, it can be tempting to stretch the truth. It can be tempting. It can be also challenging to be creative for a new person here in the industry who's never done this kind of business before. So what does that look like? Well, we can remove the daunting factor of what do you post in social media, what do you say, what do you share, by giving people the content to share. So that's the first piece you earn when you start creating your own content for members to share. All right. 2, compliance. Okay, number 2. Touched on this briefly in our intro, but if you want people to share compliant content, stuff that's not going to get your company into trouble, stuff that's going to protect your company in the long term, give them the content to share. That's going to make all the difference in the world by giving them compliant content to share, because they won't be making outrageous claims that they're not allowed to make, because they'll be sharing what you told them to post. Okay. So you start to get this. Makes a big difference, is giving them compliant content to share. Now, if you only give them a little bit of content, they're still going to be tempted to go create their own. So the key is to give them a lot of content, because if you give them plenty of great quality, fun, relevant content, you remove the incentive for your members to create their own content. And in the end, now, what are they doing? They're sharing yours, and it's compliant. And number 3 is measuring the results. Okay, it's very challenging to just broadly measure the results of different activities that your field does when you don't control those activities, right? It's only your best guess as to what is or is not working out there in the space. Now, if you control the content yourself that they're sharing, and you do it through a platform, something like what our team puts together at NaXum, you can actually track results. You can actually see how many prospects were generated from that campaign, how many sales were created from that campaign. So when you can track something, you can do something about it. I had a great mentor once, who's actually a client of mine today, who said, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And so what I want to encourage everyone to do today is think about your business and the things you're just letting the marketplace take, and say, how can I measure that so that I can manage it? How can I measure it so I can make better decisions? All right? And that is the real key here inside of your company and your platform. So I want to thank you for checking out MLM Monday today. Thank you for popping on. Do something with the information you learned. If you don't yet have a content team, start creating content. If you don't have a platform, reach out to people who are winning with platforms for sharing content for MLM companies. Like our team here at NaXum, I'd be happy to do a call with you. Send me a private message here on the group or on my personal Facebook page, and we'll connect. If you have any thoughts, if you like the show, if you hate the show, if you want to see a different speaker on the show, post it in the comments below, and we're glad to be connecting here. We'll be right back here next Monday for MLM Monday episode 11 coming up, and we have a special guest speaker next week. You're going to absolutely not want to miss it. Thank you, folks. Bye for now.